In 10 months, I dropped my visceral fat from a 9 to a 3. I lost 24 pounds of fat, gained 7 pounds of muscle, and completely changed my body composition. I didn't count a single macro. I didn't track a single calorie. I didn't follow anyone's protocol. Here's what I actually did, and the variable nobody talks about that I think made the difference. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 things. 1, why visceral fat specifically is the fat that matters for your health. Not subcutaneous fat, not total body fat, visceral fat. There's a reason this is the number I track. And number 2, the mechanism almost nobody teaches, the variable that actually controls visceral fat. It's not what you've been told. Number 3, what I actually did, the 4 levers I pulled: real food, real training, real sleep, real supplementation, no optimization, no tracking, and no protocol. In quick context, I'm not a doctor. I'm a functional nutrition coach who's been working with people on body composition and metabolic health for years. The transformation I'm about to walk you through is mine. The principles behind it are what I've spent years learning, first on myself and then with clients. Everything I'm sharing here, I've lived. If you've ever looked at your own body composition data and wondered why your visceral fat won't budge no matter what you try, this is for you. Let me start by explaining why I track this number so closely, because there are actually 2 main types of body fat, and they behave completely differently. Subcutaneous fat is the soft layer just under your skin. It's what you can pinch, it's largely cosmetic, it correlates with body weight, but it doesn't drive disease in a major way. Visceral fat is different. Visceral fat is the fat that wraps around your organs. Your liver, your pancreas, your intestines. You can't see it, you can't pinch it, but it's doing something subcutaneous fat isn't. Visceral fat is metabolically active. It actively secretes inflammatory signals into your bloodstream. It acts more like an endocrine organ than a storage tissue. And here's why that matters. Visceral fat is the single most predictive marker for cardiovascular disease, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, and dementia. Not your weight, not your total body fat percentage, visceral fat specifically. 2 people can weigh the same. 2 people can have the same body fat percentage. But the one with higher visceral fat is at significantly higher risk for almost every chronic disease that kills people. This is the marker on your in-body scan that almost nobody looks at. They look at total weight, they look at body fat percentage. They miss the one number that actually predicts how their next 30 years are going to go. So when I tell you mine went from a 9 to a 3, that's not just a body composition change, it's a meaningful drop in disease risk. And here's the mechanism. Visceral fat and insulin resistance drive each other. It's a loop. When you have high visceral fat, it secretes inflammatory signals that make your cells less responsive to insulin. Your pancreas compensates by making more insulin to keep your blood sugar stable, and high insulin signals your body to store more fat, specifically more visceral fat. More visceral fat, more insulin resistance, more insulin, more visceral fat, and the loop reinforces itself. So this is the variable, insulin sensitivity. Most people try to break this loop with calories. Eat less, burn more. And that can work eventually, but it's the slow way around. The faster way is to break the loop by improving insulin sensitivity directly. When insulin sensitivity improves, visceral fat starts to mobilize. The signals change. The storage program changes. Your body actually wants to release the fat. Here's the important part. You can't measure insulin sensitivity by looking at a scale. You can't see it on a body fat percentage. There's no app that tracks it day to day. It's not a number you can optimize for directly, which is why most people don't know to work on it. They're tracking the wrong thing entirely. So how do you improve insulin sensitivity? 4 levers. Let me walk you through what I actually did. Lever number 1 is food quality, not food quantity. I ate a Whole30 style way of eating. Real food only, meat, fish, eggs, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, and potatoes. No grains, no dairy, no added sugar, no alcohol, and no processed foods. I never counted a single macro. I never tracked a single calorie. I never weighed my food. What I did was prioritize protein at every meal, eat vegetables with most meals, and let real food do what real food does. By the math of how I was eating, I was probably hitting somewhere between 150 and 200 grams of protein per day, but I never measured. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. Real food is hard to overeat. Your body has satiety signals that work when you're eating things your body recognizes. Those signals stop working when you eat ultra processed food engineered to bypass them. So I wasn't trying to hit a calorie target. I was feeding my body what it actually wanted, and then the math took care of itself. Lever 2 is my training. 4 days a week, mix of strength training and metabolic conditioning. 1 strength day per major body part, with conditioning work built in to add metabolic demand. So why strength training? Because muscle is the largest insulin sensitive tissue in your body. The more lean muscle you have, the more glucose disposal capacity you have, the more your insulin sensitivity improves. Strength training literally builds the infrastructure for better insulin sensitivity. The conditioning work, the harder, faster, mixed modal stuff, adds another dimension. It teaches your body to handle metabolic demand. It improves insulin signaling at intensity. 2 days of cardio per week, that's it. 1 day was intervals, short and hard efforts. The other day was zone 2, which was easier, steady state. I didn't follow a rigid program. I trained consistently, varied the work within a framework, and let the volume be enough. Lever 3 is sleep, the quietest variable, the one almost everybody neglects. 7 to 9 hours most nights, prioritized like a workout. 1 night of bad sleep can drop your insulin sensitivity by 20 to 25%. Chronic short sleep is directly associated with increased visceral fat accumulation. You can't out-train bad sleep. You can't out-eat bad sleep. You can't out-supplement bad sleep. And lever 4 was supplements. These weren't fat loss supplements. No fat burners or protein powders. These were foundational supplements for an active body. Creatine, omega-3s, B complex, magnesium. None of these are going to make fat fall off your body if the other 3 levers are broken. But if your training is consistent, your food is real, and your sleep is decent, these support the system. They're the inputs that make the work possible. Here's the reframe I want you to walk away with. Most people optimize outputs. They track their weight, they count their macros, they measure their cardio in minutes, they look at their body fat percentage, they obsess over the numbers their body produces. The smarter move is to optimize inputs. Real food, real training, real sleep, real supplementation, real recovery. The inputs are what you can actually control. When the inputs are right, the body produces the outputs you want, not the other way around. That's why I didn't track. I wasn't trying to hit a number. I was building a system that produces the number on its own. So if you take one thing from this video, take this. Visceral fat is the body fat that matters. It responds to insulin sensitivity, and insulin sensitivity responds to the quality of your inputs, not the precision of your tracking. Eat real food, train hard 4 days a week, sleep 7 to 9 hours, take your foundational supplements. Do that for a few months. Don't track, don't optimize, don't measure obsessively. Just do the inputs and forget about the outcomes. Then look at the scan. If you want to start asking better questions about your own body and finally get to the root of your chronic health issues, make sure you subscribe. We're on a mission to help 1 million people get off symptom managing medication and finally heal at the root cause. So click subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're looking for additional support working with our functional practice, click the link in the description to schedule a free consultation.